You can only laugh at this point, right? Well, let me stop laughing because it's not funny, honestly. What Bears fans had to just witness in that game versus the Tennessee Titans was disgusting, pitiful, awful, embarrassing, and just flat out painful. Folks, watching this Bears offense, and I want to be very clear, I am only talking about this Bears offense because the defense does not deserve this type of blame. I'm only talking about the Bears offense. Watching this Bears offense is like pulling teeth. It's like having to go to the dentist and getting a damn root canal done because of how awful this offense is. And I look like I'm speechless, but I'm really trying to stay quiet to get the tension up. I really am, because you know what? There better be some tension in that damn locker room right now, especially towards head coach Matt Nagy. Okay? Some of you might be thinking I'm overreacting because the final score was 24-17. Well, guess what? That's what you call a box score watcher. That's what you call a box score watcher. If you watched that game, or watched majority of that game, you would know that wasn't even close. That wasn't even competitive, folks. And here's the thing. I picked the Bears to lose this game. This is a thing where I come here and I tell you guys that I believe truly that I am the most objective analyst when it comes to the Bears. And that's not to brag or anything. That's just to tell you guys how I feel. And I believe that is the reason why you guys support, follow, and listen to me. But when I pick the Bears to lose, I still expect them to be competitive. It's not really just all about losing. It is also about how you lose. And the Bears, for the life of me, just cannot even find a way to stay competitive. Folks, the Bears offense was shut out in the first half. Shut out. Okay? They can't even stay competitive when their defense is so elite. It's stopping Derrick Henry, who NFL defenses have no idea how to stop, from even averaging 4 yards a carry, getting over 70 yards rushing. Like, the Bears defense is stopping Derrick freaking Henry, and the Bears offense can't even put up a point. Not a single point. Zero, zilch, nada, nothing. And then in the second half, obviously, garbage time. Oh, hey, the defense is playing prevent. Let's go ahead and start scoring now. Obviously, I'm going to start with Matt Nagy. Okay, I'm going to start with Matt Nagy. And I said this on live after I went live after that game. If Matt Nagy, in his press conference, tries to make any excuses, you know what I think should happen? Actually, let me stretch that. I want a Bears reporter to ask Matt Nagy after that game how he managed to only score, or not only score, how he managed to not score any points in the first half. I really do. And I want the reporter to ask him that in an era in the NFL where everything in terms of the rules is geared towards the offense and geared towards being able to put up points. And you went up against one of the, not the worst defenses, but certainly not a great defense in the NFL. And the Tennessee Titans don't have a pass rush. Their secondary doesn't scare anybody. And so you were going up against elite defense, and you still managed to put up a goose egg in the first half. How did you do that, Matt Nagy? I want a reporter to ask him that. And if Matt Nagy says, did you see our offensive line today? We had all backups and practice squad guys. Then I want the reporter to say back to Matt Nagy, I did see the offensive line, and I also saw the Bengals offensive line last week against this very same Tennessee Titans team, and they also had backups and practice squad guys. Oh, and they also had a backup running back in Giovanni Bernard. And guess what? they not only won the game, they put up 31 points. So don't give me the offensive line excuse. As the head coach and play caller of a team, you are supposed to game plan based off of your personnel. This has been the biggest issue I've had with Matt Nagy since day one, or I should say since 2019, because 2018 he was good. But 2019, it's just been a slippery slope. I've said Matt Nagy does not coach to his personnel. If you have a bad offensive line, figure it out. The Bengals did. The Bengals had the same situation you did. You can't use that excuse. There's no excuses. This is the NFL. You got to produce. And now what? Now what? You're lucky you had the 5 wins because you're on the hot seat, Matt Nagy. You're on the hot seat. I don't care what anybody says. You can't put up 0 points in the first half, not be competitive. I don't care. 24-17, if you look back to this game, you're going to think, oh man, the Bears only lost by a touchdown. No, they didn't. This game was way over before then. Way over before then. And here's the thing. At the beginning of the game, if you go check out my tweets, I live tweet before every single Bears game, or during every single Bears game. I said, man, Nagy started off with good play calling. I liked the play calling early on. He was even running the ball in short yardage situations. It was good. All right? And some of the plays were not executed, which I'll get to in a second. We got to talk about Nick Foles. Don't worry, I'm going to get to that in a second. But the plays weren't executed. Obviously, offensive line blowing up some of those plays. So play calling was actually solid. It was decent. But then it just deteriorated. And it got worse and worse and worse. And when you're the head coach, just like when you're the quarterback, you're going to get blame if you don't produce. And the Bears offense isn't producing. This is the worst offense in the NFL outside of the New York Jets. And they're certainly the worst rushing offense, even worse than the New York Jets. So there you have it. Do I want Matt Nagy fired right now with how he's calling plays? Yes. But I told you this 2 weeks ago. I want him fired as a play caller already. I'm already ready to move on from Matt Nagy as a play caller. Will that happen? Probably not this season. But let's talk about Nick Foles. So Nick Foles, this is another case of box score watching. Look at the box score, 36 for 52, 335 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. Wow, Nick Foles had a good game. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Nick Foles was awful. Nick Foles was a liability at quarterback. And I promise you this. If Mitchell Trubisky was healthy this game, I think Nick Foles gets benched. That was all garbage time numbers. He definitely threw a number of passes that should have been picked off. And man, I could not remember how many times Nick Foles threw a ball that got batted at the line of scrimmage. And this guy's like 6'5", 6'6". And every single time, boop, boop, we're playing volleyball with Nick Foles throwing passes to the damn Titans defenders. It's just unacceptable. You're throwing the ball away, intentional grounding. You're not throwing the ball away, you take a sack. Just everywhere, liability. I'm sorry, like Nick Foles is giving you the 3 worst things at the quarterback position that you cannot be. Inaccurate, bad decision-making, not mobile. Mitchell Trubisky was 2 of those things, and that's why he got benched. He was at least mobile. Nick Foles was brought in because he could at least have good decision-making and do have good accuracy. I can't even pronounce right now. He has good accuracy. That's what they thought. And he has good decision-making. That's what they thought. No mobility. Well, he's giving you all 3 things, and he's not providing any of that. He's not providing mobility. He's not providing accuracy. And he's not providing you any sort of good decision-making. So why is he out there? Why is Nick Foles out there? Well, today, because we had no other option. But Nick Foles, man, he has not been the Nick Foles I thought we were getting. No, just not. And I'm telling you right now, you would have gotten benched if Mitchell Trubisky was healthy. And we don't know when Mitch is going to be healthy again. So we're stuck with Nick Foles. And as far as the offensive line, folks, look, I don't know what else there to say about the offensive line. Like, it's literally repeating a problem. I'm beating the dead horse here, right? Beating the dead horse here. Yes, our offensive line is bad. It's bad, okay? But you got to work around it. Folks, I thought the second half of the season was going to be easy because we don't face any good defenses, but now you got the Vikings on deck, and they're looking good. Dalvin Cook looks like a juggernaut again. You got the Lions. You got the Packers. Even the Texans and the Jaguars, who we thought could be easy wins, they look like decent teams. And the Jaguars put up fights against the Texans. Like, oh, folks, even my prediction of 10-6 looks crazy right now. 3 straight losses. And this offense is literally like you pulling teeth. You're getting a root canal. That's how it is watching this offense. The only good things about this offense are Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney. Those are the only 2 gems on this offense. Everyone else on that can go. And by the way, I tweeted this too. What's the record for the most tipped passes, most fumbles, and most penalties in a game? Because whatever the record is, I'm pretty sure the Bears beat it today. David Montgomery fumbled. Anthony Miller fumbled. Bears offensive line with the penalties. Just keep shooting yourself in the foot. And yeah, that's an indictment on Matt Nagy. If you are getting penalties, you're not a disciplined team. That falls on the head coach. So, again, folks, it's a mess right now. It is absolutely a mess. This offense, I haven't even mentioned the defense. You know why? Because there's nothing to talk about with the defense. It's all offense. Literally all offense. We are the anti-Seahawks. Seahawks offense doesn't perform. Russell Wilson doesn't have a good game like he didn't against the Bills. They lose. Our offense can't produce anything. We lose. And I don't even blame the defense for giving up at the end because I probably would have done the same thing. This Bears defense does not deserve the Bears offense. And I should say the other way around. This Bears offense does not deserve the Bears defense. So, one positive that I think I can say is we saw Riley Ridley out there, by the way. That was a positive. We need to get him more playing time. So, good to see Riley Ridley out there. But on a serious note, one positive is Matt Nagy has clearly been the problem with this play calling, along with Nick Foles in the offensive line. Benching Nick Foles, you can do that like tomorrow, right? You can just, or next week, whenever Mitchell Trubisky's back. But Matt Nagy is the bigger problem, right? Will he give up play calling? Will, any changes happen? And I'll say this, I will never, ever, ever, ever in my life root for the Bears to lose. But the only good things about these losses are the fact that the seat is getting hotter and Matt Nagy is going to have to keep answering questions after questions. And the question about giving up play calling, it's coming up. It's going to be asked. And the question of could he get fired? If the Bears season goes just completely left like it looks like it's going, if they go 6-10, if they go 7-9, it's possible. So the seat is hot. Last week, it was warm. Now it's hot. Now the seat is hot, man, Nagy. If you don't figure it out, the seat's going to be on fire. So that's just where I am, folks. Look, Matt Nagy's like a kid that's lost right now. He doesn't know what to do with this team, this offense. It's bad. So, like I said, the only positive I can give you at this time with the offense is the fact that it's helping Matt Nagy lose games, which could get him to stop calling plays or get him fired. That's the best I can do for you. But, folks, hang in there with me like I'm trying to do. Appreciate you guys, man, for all the love and support. As always, thanks for watching.